You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Shizzle and Jake Jorgensen. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. This is Week 5's Rewind. Week 5 is in the books. That is, about a third of the way through the fantasy season. We end on Week 14. Not going to lie, I had to check that before we started recording. So we have myself, as always, Jake, and our special guest of the week, the man who destroyed me this week, Full Chub, Preston Manthai. Let's go, buddy.
Manthai.
What's going on? I want to just preface by saying, right after Shiz texted me saying he was going to destroy me.
Can confirm.
Oof.
It was a mistake.
I didn't know what week we were going to have you on, Preston.
I honestly didn't know
This
either.
could have lasted a couple more weeks.
I was very
honestly.
upset that it was this week, in all honesty. I wish it was next week.
That's fair. I didn't think it was going to happen either. My team looked good, and then they're all just bad or are on IR. So
yeah, that doesn't help, I suppose. Oh, geez. All right. Well, let's get into it, huh? We've got wow. We'll start with Lane and George. This is embarrassing. Trevor Lawrence drops a 30 banger. Everybody else kind of stinks. James Cook and Derrick Henry were okay. I don't know how Derrick Henry does it. He gets a touchdown literally every single week. I mean, he hasn't not had a touchdown yet this year, and he still gets 15 points sometimes. Doesn't do much else.
I think I know how he does it.
Yeah? How is it, Jake? How does he do it?
By nothing ever going to Mark Andrews.
Oh, that's how he gets all of his touchdowns?
Yep.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll talk about that later, Jake. Hope you like your shiny new toy.
We will talk about that later.
Yeah, everybody else on Lane's team just stunk. I mean, Debo was bad. Jordan Addison, horrible. Joku, not good. Maybe he got hurt again. I don't know.
He's been horrible this year, but then again, anybody on that offense is useless. So
that is fair. Although I suppose it helps when you actually play football. So
true.
On Georgia's side, pretty much everything went right. Good for you, man. Lamar Jackson is a monster. Turns out he's QB1 on the year, I believe, and 42 points against the Bengals. Turns out you can do whatever you want to the Bengals, and they will take it. Oh, jeez.
Pause.
Yeah, there it is. Justin Jefferson was honestly relatively disappointing. The fumble kind of hurts. T. Higgins, 2 touchdowns. He was a stud. Breece Hall. Jake, are you worried about Breece Hall at this point? 2 weeks in a row, sub 10.
No. Yes, but also I honestly thought this is kind of talking about my matchup too. I thought that if Breece Hall would have this type of performance, that would just mean that Braylon Allen just was playing really well that day. And I don't think Allen got that much. He kind of had the same amount of points too, maybe worse. So
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did expect a lot more. I kind of figured the Jets were going to struggle against Minnesota, but I figured that they'd have to use the run game a bit or some checkdowns to halfbacks to get back into the game, but apparently that did not happen.
Yeah, it definitely did not. And Ramondre had a good game. That's good. I mean, Breece Hall is the only disappointing player on Georgia's team, in all honesty. Everybody else was totally fine. Although I did hear Ramondre got benched temporarily because he fumbled. So weird.
Yeah, I mean the Jet. Oh, go ahead, Jake.
I was just about to say, it kind of feels like the Patriots they're not blessed by being able to do that. They just with their quarterback and their running back. Apparently.
Yeah.
They're not a good team.
They're about to be, dude.
Benching everyone.
Drake May's starting this week.
I am excited to see Drake May. I've been looking forward to that one, so maybe they will become a good team.
He's going to get absolutely slaughtered, dude. They play the Texans.
I really want to watch that game. There's no way it's going to be on TV, but I really want to watch that game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably not. Bummer. Trey McBride.
Yeah.
What's up, Preston?
I was just saying, going back to Breece Hall. I mean, the Jets' offense is so bad. They got Robert Saleh fired, and I don't know if you guys saw today, but they demoted Nathaniel Hackett,
Yeah, they took away play calling duties.
which is wild. Like at that point,
Yeah.
just fire the man too,
Yeah,
right?
I agree. Actually, I mean, middle of the season is tough because you got to find somebody to replace him. But at the same time, yikes, that's the situation, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I think I saw that like the guy they promoted used to be the offensive coordinator in Tennessee when they had Derrick Henry and ran the ball a lot.
There we
So
go. Brees
maybe
Hall to the
Brees Hall will just
moon.
get a lot of carries. Yeah,
That is good intel.
Brees Hall has been getting carries, but that's the problem. 9 carries,
fair,
23 yards. 10 carries, 4 yards. Come on, man.
fair.
Offensive line stinks? Question mark. I have no idea what the problem is there. I don't really watch the Jets, so bummer though. That is a bummer. Rashid Shaheed did what he does. 4 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. Apart from that one goose, Rashid Shaheed's kind of been a stud.
We'll see about this week though.
What? He plays
Different
Tampa.
quarterback.
Oh, that's a good point
Different
though. Yeah,
quarterback.
the Rattler.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see, I suppose. George's bench, all horrible. Hey, George, GM of the week, my man, because this is brutal on the bench. You might have been perfect. Yeah, good job, man. Every start was correct. Lane's bench, I mean, it was about the same, but technically, Laughlin would outscored most of his team. Sorry, dude. Oh, geez. He had a lot of guys on bye this week, so if you're Lane, you're hoping you bounce back with your Jared Goof and your Amon Ra. Devonta Smith sounds like he's going to be back this week, too. So he should be okay. Let's move on. All right, who's next? Oh, ho, ho. Cade and Jake. Yikes, dude.
My team was due to have one of these games, and actually, this matchup was pretty close. Going through the noon games, I think the projection was like a 111, 109 type of thing.
Yep.
And then Tucker Kraft just took over, and I couldn't even be mad as a Packer fan because he was awesome out there. But yes, that was pretty tough to go against this week, knowing that Kraft. This might be the high. I mean, with Musgrave being out, I guess he could technically do better a different week, but this feels like this would be the highest points he'll have the entire season. You would think,
Probably,
based
yeah.
on that. What was like a 50-yard touchdown, maybe more.
Yeah, it's a nice one, man. That was a nice one.
That was, and even like I said, the projections were close, and Nico Collins had a bomb touchdown early, then he went out. So I
At
was like,
what
he's not going to
cost,
score any more
Jake?
points.
At what cost?
It was at what cost, but
Oh,
yeah,
I don't have any Nico Collins in any of my leagues, but I still feel bad. He's been a stud. Brandon's probably like, as he traded him to Cade, and he was all upset because Nico Collins has been killing it. So that's
I tried to trade for Nico Collins in the Dynasty League. No luck, unfortunately. But
who has him in the Dynasty League?
Thad has him. That was
yeah.
actually, I forgot what the exact details were, but I was using a couple players, and then Jordan Mason as kind of just like the nice little throw-ins to McCaffrey owner, of course. So it didn't happen, but I was looking for the Stroud Collins stack.
Ooh.
Regardless, I also have to shout out. This was a bad, just even though it wasn't a great week for me, it was also a bad GM week. I picked up Trey Sermon, and I think I was talking myself into this in the last rewind. I did like Braylon Allen going into this one, knowing that I had Montgomery on the bye. I thought Braylon Allen was going to do solid. I thought they were just going to be down. I have to throw a couple passes to him. Rodgers has been comfortable doing that. He's had a couple weeks with multiple catches. I think he had one where he had 2. Maybe I'm thinking of a different. Maybe it wasn't just him, but he had a couple touchdowns, maybe week 3. I think they were receiving. But I liked Braylon Allen this week, and instead Trey Sermon had a good week, and I should have played him.
Yeah, you should have, buddy. Should have played Caleb Williams too, apparently.
Yeah, I should have. This is why I'm glad I didn't drop Caleb Williams. He has been looking really good, actually.
Yeah, well, it helps when you play against Carolina. I'm in a decision in one of my leagues where I have Josh Allen playing against the Jets, And then I have Kirk Cousins playing against the Panthers, and I'm like, oh man, I really want to play Kirk Cousins.
I think Aaron Jones might be hurt too right now, right? I want to say.
I know he's
He is.
banged up. I don't know if he can
Oh,
play or not.
you said Kirk Cousins, right?
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, dude.
That was
Yeah.
me being an idiot and
Oh
thinking
yeah,
Vikings
let
Kirk
me
Cousins for a second there.
let me
So I'll
figure
just
out if
shout
I
out
want to
myself
start
for
Aaron
that.
Jones or Josh Allen. Come on, Jake. Come
No, that was
on.
me. That was me having a flashback to Kirk Cousins on the Vikings, thinking the running backs they're going to pass more, and nope, he's a Falcon. Week
Jeez.
5 rewind things.
I do want to shout out the Craft Punk. That's good stuff
Yeah,
here. We can get a zoom in on that. Oh boy, that is something.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I just
I see
just
some wiener
texted.
in there.
I texted Cade today. This is the second time in the last couple of weeks that I was thinking about trading for someone, and then I looked it up, and Cade owns them, and his team name is named after that specific player.
Yeah.
Like, nah, it's not gonna
Jeez,
work.
tough sledding there, buddy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean on your side of the ball, it just didn't really work out. You know, Braylon Allen was bad. Najee wasn't really what you wanted to see, especially against Dallas. Wide receivers were just okay. It's just everybody was meh or bad.
we'll talk about this later, but this performance did kind of spark a trade opportunity. So
It really did. Cade's side of the ball, Josh Allen got wiped off the face of the earth. He probably visited Rodgers in his darkness retreat. He got sent so far, he got knocked out, man.
yeah,
And then came back in and completed like 9 passes out of 30 attempts. It was stupid. I don't know how he got past concussion protocol, but he did. And here he is, still putting up just as many points as Jordan Love. Oh,
He got past concussion protocol the same way that they decided to throw for it 4 times instead of just running out the clock and going to overtime. So
yeah, no kidding. Holy
that was
man.
such an awkward end to a game. Like, dude, just take overtime. Like, you're just gonna give him the ball back. Like, they threw like 4 out routes in a row, and they were all incompletions. I was like, this is insane.
Padding the stats.
yeah. I didn't like what I was watching that one. I believe the Texans were in field goal range, and they could have just ran the ball, kicked a game-winning field goal. Well, they screwed that one up, but they still won because of what the Bills did when they got it back. But yeah, that was an interesting one. Easy to be a coach from the couch and figure out what we wanted to do, and then in that situation, I don't really blame them that much. That you're supposed to be confident in your quarterback there, your offense move down the field,
Yeah.
but it was a pretty bad look.
Yeah. Real quick, Shiz, I'll shout out my boy, Purdue grad down the bottom down there, Tyrone Tracy ballin'.
He had a good game, man. He
He
looks
did,
good
yeah.
too.
He did. He did.
I could see him overtaking Singletary by the end of the year, or at least getting into a nice 50-50 split, and they both stink.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they got to do something because
Yeah.
Daniel Jones ain't it.
Whoa,
But-
dude. He's feeding Malik Neighbors. You shut your mouth. I want him to be there for as long as possible.
Fair. Very fair.
Not every
Uh,
quarterback
fair.
knows the tried and true method of throwing a ton of footballs to your best wide receiver.
Fair. Very fair.
I agree. Tyron Tracy had a good game. I mean, really, a lot of Cade's bench was solid. I mean, bar Gino, I guess. But,
Yeah.
Keon Coleman, 14 points, got a nice touchdown. JSN got a nice touchdown. Amari Cooper, no touchdown, still 10. I saw a stat that Amari Cooper has the most targets out of any player in the NFL, but only like 55% of them or something stupid like that were catchable.
Yeah, I mean, that's Deshaun
Dude.
Watson for you. I
Yeah,
mean,
look at this.
dude, I saw
Crazy.
there's this guy on, I think it's on TikTok, who has a running counter of how many lawsuits have been like finalized and how many touchdowns Deshaun Watson has. And I think it's like 23 lawsuits to 19 touchdowns. Like, it's
Yikes.
absolutely wild.
Yikes. That's a good counter, not going to lie.
That's almost as fun as the running count on the Antonio Brown controversies that you
For
see
sure.
every once in a while.
That's infinite, though.
For sure.
All right. Next game. Preston, I think I'm just going to pass the mic over to you on this one, man. It hurts a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, I had to, like, panic start Zach Moss because I my running backs are kind of dead.
Can confirm.
And yeah yeah.
You might have
Um,
the biggest. You might have the biggest name bench of all time. Now that I'm looking
correct.
at it.
Correct.
Really.
Yeah, no, I felt very good about my team coming out of the draft, and then they all are either hurt or just like have terrible quarterbacks at Jalen Waddle. So I also finally made the move to end that experience and sit Jalen Waddle this week because I
Brave
kept trying
man.
to start him and it just hasn't been working. And Jacoby Myers did enough. I mean, Justin Tucker almost outscored him, but that's fine.
I heard they're starting Aiden O'Connell now in Vegas.
Yeah, also a Purdue alum and not very good. There's a
Yeah, he
reason he was a
stinks.
walk-on.
Yeah, I it's I it's probably a bad thing from Jacoby, but in all honesty, can it really get that much worse?
No, especially with Devontae Adams not there. Like, who else
True.
are they going to throw the ball
Hey,
to?
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Except Brock
There
Bowers.
you go. Yeah, Brock Bowers the dog. Yeah, I mean that about sums it up, Preston. You know, Kyle Pitts had a big week. Classic.
Finally.
I am a known Kyle Pitts hater, so makes sense. I I got nothing else in this one, man. My Mike Evans was a dog. I got so excited, you know, the team was clicking. Kyron Williams was pretty good. Uh, Chris Olave. So Monday night, you know, comes around and I'm losing by like 40 points, and I got Olave and Kamara, and I'm like, oh, those guys can like. There's definitely a world where I win this game. And Olave
Yeah.
drops a big 3, and Kamara drops a big 12 and a half, and I'm like, well, you know, this wasn't meant to be. Tyler Conklin's been a stud though, you know, 2 weeks in a row, good stuff. 5 points last week, I'll take it, baby. Better than Mark Andrews.
Yeah. Fair. I will say I was sweating it out at that final game with the Chiefs and Saints because I was playing against Kamara in 3 of my 4 leagues, and I have him in my 4th, and it all came down to that game. So I was sweating it out for sure. And
Yikes.
I really thought you were gonna get me. But yeah. Also, starting Narvison is bold,
I've been
Brian.
starting
I'm
him
just
all
saying.
year. He's
Yeah,
been
he's
Why?
been doing
good.
it.
He's
He's been
I
fine.
mean, yeah, I did make fun of Brian for that a couple weeks ago. I think Preston.
which is
Yeah.
insane with how many with how many
928.
kids that man misses. It's insanity that he has decent points, but I guess 29-yard misses and 37-yard misses don't count as bad as the 50-yard misses. So
Guy's a stud, dude.
no, absolutely not. Man drives me
The Packers
nuts.
kicking up field goals is worth it.
I
Hey,
mean, yeah,
he didn't miss one
he's
last week.
he didn't. He actually, I'm pretty sure kicks better outside of Lambeau.
Yeah, that's true. He has like
Like
one miss
genuinely.
outside of Lambeau because the one he missed in Tennessee was called back for a penalty and then he made it.
Yeah,
So he's a stud.
insane.
Yeah. My bench, you know, was fine. Mark Andrews, Jake, your guy. Big week, big week.
My guy now. Yeah.
Dak Prescott, fine. You know, Javante, pretty good, pretty good. Go Dowdle. Hey, against Pittsburgh, 18 is actually humongous. I'm a huge fan of
True.
that guy. Chuba Hubbard, good game. Anybody wants Chuba, you know, hit my DMs. On your bench, well, nobody played.
I was gonna say I had 2 people play, and yeah, that was rough. Well, basically, I made the right choices because I had no other choices. So yeah,
Yeah, you know what, Preston? This is going to hurt me a little bit to do, but I'm going to press this button for you. And I know you can't hear it for whatever reason because Discord's being weird, but everybody else will be able to hear this. And just know it's good. There you go. There's a bunch of kids cheering for you.
Yeah, I was
You got your
cheering.
first win,
Thanks.
man. Congrats.
thanks.
You were the
Thanks.
last team to get their first win.
Yeah, my team is just, I guess, deciding to not play games. So yeah,
Literally.
literally.
I think I jinxed your team, Preston, because I think I said this was my favorite team going into the season.
Yeah,
Or
he
it was like
did.
top 2
Jake
or
did
3.
say that at the start of the year before the season
I
started.
didn't say that.
That sounds about right.
Embarrassing.
He's not surprised.
Yours and Brandon's both.
I said Brandon. I said Brandon, Preston, and Cade were my top three. Cade's team's still doing
Cade's
good.
team is nice.
And Brandon literally boosted up Cade's team. I didn't know Brandon was going to trade away everyone for Bijan.
Yeah. Speaking of the devil, let's head over to that game. Brandon and Lemons. I have to appreciate the fact that Mike finally updated his team name. He's back in form. Step Burrow, I'm stuck. That's clever stuff there. I don't know what it means because, how would I? But, Joe Burrow's pretty...
You're married. You don't know what that means.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Jake knows what that means, though.
I'll let you guys. Yeah, I'll let you guys figure it out at some point.
Oh yeah. So honestly, this matchup should have been done earlier, but it was actually a close game. So I'm gonna shed a little light on this one. Lemons started Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Mahomes threw for 300 yards. Nice. Threw a pick. No touchdowns. Is that right? Yeah, no tuds. Yikes. Tyreek Hill, 13 points. Honestly, you're happy with that. Metcalf bad. Rashad White bad. 8 of 6 receiving yards. That's funny. On 3 catches. Holy man. George Kittle's a stud. And Kareem Hunt, bold start. I love it. 22 points. Joe Burrow on the bench though. So during the game, Brandon and I were hanging out on Sunday, and he said something along the lines of, if Lemons loses because of Joe Burrow, after everybody telling him to start Joe Burrow, I'm going to lose it, right? Because we've been telling him to start Joe Burrow over Mahomes. We've been telling him to bench Mahomes forever. And, here he is, 47 points. Joe Burrow's been really good. You're just like...
I said just trade Burrow so you don't have to see that on the bench.
Honestly, yeah. Fair enough.
Or trade Mahomes.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said.
Nobody's going to trade for Mahomes, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we mentioned last time.
Cut
Nobody's
Mahomes.
Gonna trade for him.
Get him out of here. So, even Grange kind of popped off, had that tud. Brian Robinson should be in his lineup. He's been fantastic.
He's been good.
Really good. Brian Robinson should be in there over every single one of those players. So, on Brandon's side of the ball, yikes. Quarterback situation, Hurts was on bye, so he had to go with Justin Fields. I think he picked up Fields for this. Yeah, and then he cut him. The walk of shame. Spent 2 fab on him. And got the big 60. Hey, you know what? He got his projection almost to the yard. So props to Yahoo on that one. Kind of impressive.
It is.
Garrett Wilson had a crazy game. 13 catches for 100 yards and a tud. 32 points. That's the game you wanted from him. It's funny because it was against Minnesota. You'll never get it again now that Robert Saleh's gone. And Devontae Adams is going to go to the Jets, so... You got all kinds of problems, Shiz. Devon Achane, concussed. 3 points. That actually really hurt Brandon. Big time.
Yeah.
Bijan, 10. Kelsey, back to life. He's going to be a stud rest of the season as long as Rice is out. And with his torn LCL, he will be done for the year. Wicks was a big disappointment.
He could have had about 15 and he dropped like 4 passes, maybe
he
more.
Is so frustrating to watch as a Packer fan.
Yes.
It's like, dude,
absolutely.
I don't want to see him anymore. And he gets open, and I want to cut him some slack because there have been guys that have dealt with drops that have just figured it out and then they're great. But yeah.
He's incredibly lucky because everyone's just saying, well, this is what Devontae did his second year. That's just,
exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
So lucky to be like,
Exactly.
so lucky that someone says that about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like Devontae. He dropped passes his second year too. Like what?
Ridiculous. He didn't deal with drops as much. I don't remember, at least last year. So I'm hoping this is just a bit of a confidence thing. Darnell Mooney on Brandon's team should probably be in the lineup when he can be because he's been dropping big boy points. He's been pretty solid this year. Plays Carolina next week. I would be totally ready to fire him up against Carolina. Zay Flowers does what he does and either has 2 points or 20 points. So, you can start him at will. Tank Dell could be seen a big increase in usage now that Nico Collins is out. You know, there's some things to be excited about on Brandon's team. I hear Cooper Cup's supposed to be back next week after the bye. So that'd be big. That'd be really big, actually. You start Cooper Cup week 1 of him being back.
If he's back, yes. If he's back, absolutely.
All right. Go Shiz.
He's probably been waiting so long for that dude to be back.
Oh, yeah.
After more targets.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, Puka, baby. Puka should be back soon, too, I heard.
Dude, hopefully. Also, do the Dolphins just have like different helmets than the rest of the NFL? Because half their team has a concussion every other day. Like,
Yeah, it is actually interesting. They have been getting
it's kind of insane.
deleted.
Yeah.
They have to do that fall training that Tua took, you know, where he learned how to fall so that he doesn't get concussed anymore. So instead
Didn't
of
look like he learned when he fell into DeMar Hamlin's
well, that's the
chest.
thing though, Preston.
He didn't fall.
He doesn't fall and hit his head when he gets concussed anymore. He just falls into players and then they hit his head. The ground isn't doing it
Yeah.
anymore. Now it's just, you know, NFL linebackers, which is so much worse.
He trained to fall backward, and he fell forward, and that was his downfall.
Yeah.
No, I
I
did not mean
saw
to say that.
something. Oh, geez. I saw something that right when that happened, it was like this tweet or something that was the two most like breakable things in the NFL just collided to his head and DeMar Hamlin's chest.
Oh no.
Yep, I did see that.
Pain.
I was like, that's amazing.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, that was the immovable object versus unstoppable force meme that I saw.
Oh,
Yeah.
Before I move
Let's
off
see it.
Brandon's game, I do have to press this button.
The biggest thing to remember is we're dead.
There you go, Shiz. Matches your team name. Preston, just so you know, biggest thing to remember is we're dead. That was the button.
Fair.
All right, matchup of the week. And this was a fantastic matchup, too, which is crazy because both of these teams were fighting to not be 1-4. And they were both, you know, the top scoring teams of the week, which is really tough. If you're Nick, you're fuming. You know, Kyler Murray, good. Drake London, phenomenal, dude. 12 catches, let's go. 13 targets, caught basically all of them. 154 yards and a tud. DJ Moore, like a all-career game for him, man. He looked unstoppable out there, just catching everything. Carolina does that to a guy. Revenge game. Jordan Mason, bad. Bucky Irving, bad. Dalton Kincaid, not really what you want, but he's a tight end, so you don't care. BTJ, stud. I love BTJ. I wanted him so bad, but there's no way I'm getting him out of Nick's hands, dude. There's just no shot. I'd have to give him my firstborn child plus. Younghoe Koo, dog. Seattle defense, dog, I guess. Greg starts Baker Mayfield, dog. Let him cook, baby. Jamar Chase, dude, 50 points.
That was nuts.
Jeez. Almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. His best single game performance since 15, 192, and 3 on the Cardinals last year. He can have those games. Michael Pittman had footsteps Flacco, dropped 15 points. Looks like he might have gotten hurt in that one. Back. I don't know if he finished the game or not. IR is an option. That's tough. But honestly, if what's his face is back, my guy, who's my guy? Anthony Richardson.
Yeah,
If he's back, you're going to want Pittman on the IR anyways because you're not going to want to have to play him.
Nick does still have Anthony Richardson, it looks like.
Stud. Yeah, and he's going to have a good week this week, baby. Playing against Tennessee. Let's go. If he plays. I don't know.
I don't think he's going to play.
Wow. You shut your mouth.
I actually have no idea, but I mean, I don't think he'd play.
If I was the Colts, he would still be hurt as long as he wants to be hurt.
Aaron Jones, 6 points. Really bad. DeAndre Swift, 20 points. Back from the dead, dude. Back-to-back weeks. The schedule's cake. And he plays the Jags next week. I would fire him up, dude. He is back. I mean, after the bye, who knows? You know, the end of the season schedule is not good. Detroit, Minnesota, Detroit, San Fran, Minnesota, Detroit. Wow. You're not starting him in the playoffs. Brock Bowers, dog. Now that Devontae Adams is gone. Kind of wild situation going on there. Alexander Madison, didn't kill you. You're happy. Wandale Robinson, 16 points. Yeah, I mean, the benches were pretty much nice. Both teams did a good job of starting the correct players. I mean, Tank Bigsby really hurts, but at the same time, are you really starting Tank Bigsby after, he had 9 points week 4, sure, but like, didn't Etienne get hurt in that game? Or was
I
he
think
just
he
dealing
might
with
have.
injury?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he might have. But then again, I mean, he was playing the Colts defense, and I think you could run against the Colts defense because
That-
Malik Willis did it. So
Pain.
Yeah.
That is true. That is a good point. And Chase Brown on the bench, that hurts. That hurts big time. He's just been scoring touchdowns, man, being involved against Baltimore too. You can probably start Chase Brown and cross your fingers. It's going to be boom and bust. If he falls in the end zone, you're going to be happy. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Bucky Irving, Jordan Mason's been kind of struggling, man. 8 points. He had a good week the week before, but then he had 10 points. It's like, the matchups where you expect him to really do it, he's not doing it. Rams and Cardinals. Like, you're still firing him up.
You're supposed to be able to pencil in 15 points for a running back from the 49ers.
Exactly.
If they don't get hurt. So he has been doing really bad, actually.
It's tough. So, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like Malik Neighbors isn't going to be back next week. He's still in concussion protocol. He still hasn't practiced. So, if you're Nick, this one really hurts because doing it without Malik Neighbors is tough. Thankfully, he has BTJ, DJ Moore, and Drake London, who all had awesome weeks this week. But, DJ Moore is the kind of guy who, can disappear a little bit. He had 30 points this week, but that was, look at the rest, 11, 15, 11, 10. It's fine, but it's not 30. Granted, Jacksonville next week.
By the way, as we're recording, I just got a Christian McCaffrey injury update. If anyone's interested,
Breaking news.
Sleeper. According to Rap Sheet, we got Christian McCaffrey targeting an early November return. So
early November.
Sounds like Jordan Mason will definitely have a couple more weeks.
Early. Now, if Christian McCaffrey comes back early November, is he 100% right away?
You would think that they would start him once he wouldn't come back till he is 100%.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. This is exactly like what we talked about with Love, where we're like, should we play him if he's coming off an injury? Well, he's also hopefully not starting until he's 100%.
Yep.
That wasn't the case, but yeah, just got to trust the team doctors.
Good stuff there, Jake. That is good breaking news.
I don't think there's any way they would bring McCaffrey back. They're not rushing him back at all.
And they are losing games. They need him.
That division sucks.
Yeah, and they're 2-3.
They could be 2-6.
Two division losses, man. They're 0-2 in the division. Don't know.
I honestly think they could be 2-6 and make the playoffs.
Yeah, fair. Hey, the Rams are getting their wide receivers back soon. Arizona's starting to figure it out, man. We're back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're Nick, you're kind of gutted about the whole Tank Bigsby and Chase Brown thing, but at the same time, you're starting Jordan Mason. Bucky Irving's the only guy you could have flexed out, and I don't know. I mean, would you have? Yeah, maybe Chase Brown was the play, but that's tough. It's man, 171 points and you're still losing. Good old Greg, the Chase Bank team name. Love that. Love that flex. In all honesty, that is dirty business. So that's the last matchup. Let's bounce on over to the standings real quick. Get a good glimpse. Oh, Preston, you're out of the basement, dude. Congrats.
Let's go.
We got Kate up top, following some big time L's from Jake.
1-0.
Yeah, 1L.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
All right, we had George, second place 4-1, Jake 4-1, Laner and I both at 3-2. Can't help but notice that Lane has more points for than you, Jake, but like 200 more points against.
All I see when I'm looking at this is look at those 1-4 teams, and they're only one game away from the 6th seed. So
yeah,
let's go.
That is true. That is totally true. I mean, you got Greg and you got Lemons at 2 and 3, and you got Brinkman, Manti, and Brandon at 1 and 4. And you're absolutely correct. There's nobody out of this. You know, we have a lot of 4-1 teams. That's big time stuff. But six teams make it. And me, Lane, Greg, Lemons, especially Lemons. You know, we're not safe. Even for 4-1, you're not safe. Jake, you could go on a 4-game losing streak. 4-4.
This is what I really would have felt good at 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0 would have been
4-1,
really nice.
Yeah, 4-1. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, I guess I'm only 2 games ahead of
Nobody gets that
someone
fuzzy
that hasn't.
feeling.
A losing streak continues this week, Jake.
The points
I don't have the Preston. I don't have the roster, dude.
Let's go.
I know you. Okay, Preston. I was saying this all season, but I just complained about the fact that I set myself up for failure this season. I don't know how I'm winning these games.
You're
but
projected to win by 0.01.
But yeah, Preston, you had to have been there at the draft at Brian's house.
Oh,
where
yeah.
I did not have a pick for about half an hour.
He was so tilted. And then he got his pick, and he was all excited to pick next round, and then he realized, like, right before
I also didn't have that pick.
Brandon, he traded it to Brandon. He didn't even know. It was so funny.
Yeah, I think the best available running back.
Diabolical.
Yeah, it was. And CeeDee Lamb, a lot of season left, but
a lot of season left. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not.
If you don't think he's gonna be fine, Jake, hit me up because I'll take him.
No, I'm not.
Whoa! You said he's not gonna be fine. Hit me up.
I did not say that.
Run the tape. Brandon, I know you're listening. Rewind this shit. I'll dub it in. What did I say earlier? At post.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Don't worry, Jake.
Yeah.
I'll put it in just like how I made that Malik Neighbors drop. Not Malik Neighbors, sorry. Crap. What's his name? Malik.
Come on, Brian. Come on.
I can't remember his name.
I'll give you about 3 more seconds.
Malik Willis. We got it.
Okay.
There we go.
I was about to emote.
We got
soundboard on you right there.
Oh, I removed that button, actually.
I was actually looking for it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I removed the button. We only get 8 buttons, and he's not starting anymore, so I removed it before the show for a couple new buttons that I wanted to get involved. Well, actually, the celebration button was a new one for you, Preston. It's not a new button, but it's been re-added to the board just for you. All right, that's enough time to look at the standings. Everybody's team stinks. Best players of the week, Joe Burrow, 47.78. Lemons' bench. Tank Bigsby, 29.9. Nick's bench. Mar Chase, 49.3. Greg.
Has been on Greg's bench.
Has before been on Greg's bench. Good point, Jake. Good point. Tucker Kraft.
He frequents Greg's bench.
Yeah.
Not this season.
What is this assault on Greg's character? I love it. Tucker Kraft, 26.8. Cade's starting lineup. First player that's always been started on the team they've been rostered on. Probably. I actually can't confirm that. We're going to pretend it's true. Don't fact check me. Younghoe Koo, 17 points on Nick's team. And the Giants defense had 18.5 as a free agent. There was another defense tied with them too, but I think it was like the Vikings, so screw them. Giants get it. Transactions. Let's peep these. There was quite a bit, going on. Let's get the fab offers first. What all went down here? October 9th. There we go. 1 fab bidding war. Brandon won Chase McLaughlin over George. Imagine betting $1 on a kicker at 16 points. Fair enough. George, you're going to have to bid bigger than that, buddy. Sorry, dude. All right, let's head back. All right, Dalton Schultz was picked up for $3 from Brandon. That's probably a pretty good pickup. No Nico Collins. You'll know pretty quick whether or not Dalton Schultz is that guy. And he's been okay, even with Nico. So 6 targets last week. It's a hard market out there, In this economy, we take those. Let's see. Philadelphia's defense got picked up for $3. That might be a little extra. They're pretty bad. They play Cleveland and the Giants, though, so I guess I get it. McLaughlin, Tyler Bass got picked up. Charbonnet got cut. Wow, Jay. That's kind of sad, dude. I know Kenneth Walker's back.
I would say Walker's back.
Yeah, but, are you really banking on him to stay healthy?
Yeah, I don't know.
For Tyler Bass? The Bass Master. He hasn't even been that good. Whatever. All right, there was a trade between Greg and Brandon. This was an interesting one, I thought. Greg picked up Deontay in a 13, and Brandon picked up Rashee Rice in a 9th. Now, I believe there was a soft agreement on this trade, too, beforehand, where it was, instead of a 13th and a 9th, it was a 16th and a 10th. And Greg wanted the 9th and was willing to up his 16th to a 13 for that. I don't really know if that moves the needle for me at all. But, Brandon's playing for the future here with Rashee Rice. He's got it. Was this? Yeah, this was after the LCL news.
Am I dumb right now, or isn't that the opposite of what just happened there?
What do you mean?
Didn't Greg send his 9?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait. Yeah, sorry. Greg sent it. Yeah, it was still the 10th and the 16th. I just had it flipped in my head.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So originally it was that, and Greg asked for the 9th and the 13th instead. So I guess he was willing to go up around and take a couple of rounds higher on the low pick.
Love to get some thoughts on this one.
I kind of like it. I really like it for both teams. Rashee Rice is freaking-tastic. As long as the Chiefs don't bring in a wide receiver this year, Rashee Rice is going to be that guy next year. And Brandon's team, while he still can compete, I think this hurts that a bit. But we all know his team was deep enough, at least on paper, where he could totally afford this kind of trade. So Rashee Rice is going to be a keeper, and he was drafted in the 7th round, 5th round maybe. I don't know, where was he drafted? Yeah, 7th round. That's a fantastic keeper opportunity right there. So all things are saying that he's supposed to be fully healthy next year. It'll be ready to roll. And Deontay Johnson's been really, really good with Andy Dalton throwing the football. So if you're Greg, you need a spot start. Deontay Johnson's that guy, man. And he had a bad week this past week, but 21 and 30 before that. So, you take your licks. Chicago's pretty good defense. So I am personally a fan. Good trade.
I would agree. I think the only thing that I was interested in was kind of where Rice was picked, which in the 7th round isn't bad at all. Yeah, I mean it's more or less a win now move for Greg.
Yep. Yeah, I understand paying up a little bit for the win now. Granted, on paper, I think it would have been totally fine if you flipped the picks around.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I could just be overvaluing the keeper potential from Rashee Rice, but you have to think he's gonna be at least a top 4 rounds pick. You would think if he's back healthy.
Yeah, he will be.
So yeah, even potentially a 3rd round pick. So
the only way he's not is if Devontae goes there, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, probably. Yeah, or they draft
somebody.
Even if they draft somebody, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Depends who it is, but yeah. I don't know. I think I would have tried to keep Rashee Rice unless I was getting some a nice pick from it, or I don't know, a couple players. I don't mind Deontay Johnson though. I just probably wouldn't have paid up.
Watch your mouth, Jake. Deontay's my guy.
Okay. Okay. Hey, at least you're not having Bryce Young be the quarterback there anymore. So.
Well, I will say when the benching originally happened,
are they bringing it back?
Yeah. Well, there were comments from the coach saying, Bryce Young will be back. So.
Didn't they play him at the end of the Bears game?
They might have.
Bench? I think they did. I think they benched.
Dalton.
I think I saw somewhere where they benched Dalton and put in Bryce Young, and the coach said something like, "Yeah, we were trying to protect Andy," and I was like, "What?"
That's funny. I didn't hear that. That is really
hilarious.
Funny. I love it. All right, that's good to hear. Yeah, Deontay will be fine. It was a bad game for the Panthers, which you're gonna get, but in a not brutal matchup, you can totally fire up Deontay. Other things of note, Jake, you dropped the Chiefs defense, dude. That's crazy. Whatever. Big trade alert. Big trade alert. Holy man. I finally got Mark Andrews off the books, and I did have to trade Rico Dowdle, but you know what? That's just the cost of getting rid of Mark Andrews. I love Rico Dowdle, and I'm really happy that he's finally starting to win that job. But I just can't do it anymore, man. I can't. Mark Andrews could score 10 points every single week the rest of the year. I will still be happy I made this trade. I need him away from me. Jake Ferguson's a stud, so I'm excited for this.
I completely agree with you. Mark Andrews could score 10 points every game the rest of the year, and I would still be happy with this trade. I like this trade. This was probably the most efficient trade we've ever had in any league.
It was shocking.
At any point. You asked if I wanted to do that, and I said, yep.
I texted Jake, and what did I ask you? Was it, would you be interested in... I listed my running backs on my bench, and I said, are you interested in any of these guys? And you said, probably Rico Dowdle. And then I said, would you do Andrews and Dowdle for Ferguson? And you said, I would do that. I said, all right. I sent the offer, and it was done. I was like, all right, we're good.
I do, and I said I do like Ferguson, but the way that my team is constructed this year, I don't have that running back depth, and none of the running backs I stashed, like all those dart throws, just haven't done anything yet. So it was the perfect timing to do this type of trade, and hopefully Mark Andrews will be solid. But I also thought in the back of my head, if Andrews or Likely gets hurt at some point, I'll have the starter, or I'll have the starter either way. But you know what I mean. I'll have the main guy there, unless Kolar or whatever that dude's name is.
Screw that guy.
Get some more. That guy. Yeah, actually, screw that guy.
He's what is he? Number 88.
Yeah,
number 88, big white tight end. You see that dude, and you're like, it's Mark Andrews, and you're like, oh my god, the third string tight ends. Jake, you're gonna hate that guy so much.
That's gonna, I was gonna say, if I have two tight ends for the Ravens and Kolar does anything, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun ride. So Rico Dowdle, awesome running back. I think he's gonna be great for Dallas, but tough schedule coming up. He's got Detroit a bye week, San Fran, Atlanta. Not a great schedule coming up. Probably not going to crack my lineup, but you know who will crack my lineup? Jake Ferguson will. He's going to help me get a winning record because I got to hold on to that 3-2. So, anywho, rest of the pickups, I got Juju. I don't know. He made it through waivers. I kind of just assumed he got picked up, and then I looked. He's probably going to stink, and I know he's on bye this week, so, a couple-week hold here, but you got to shoot your shot, I guess.
I for a little more context there, you did that, I think, within a couple minutes of accepting the trade. You had just open roster spot. So I was actually looking at Juju, but I obviously had to – I was going to I forgot who I dropped already, but I think it was what's his name from the Raiders that I had, Tucker, I want to say. Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what I dropped. Something like that.
Trey Tucker, yeah.
Yeah, there it was. Yes, I'm looking at this now. Anyway, I was actually going to pick up Juju, and then I realized I wanted to keep the rest of my players, and then I saw that you picked him up like 2 minutes later. I'm like, damn.
He was honestly
thinking about it.
He was what sparked the trade for me. I saw Juju on there, and I didn't have anybody I could cut. And I was like, all right, well, I can deal one of these running backs. I have like 3 guys that are all in the same tier. I can flex them all. I got to get rid of Mark Andrews. Then I went after. I texted like 3 or 4 people in the league, and I went after all their tight ends. And I was like, Mark Andrews, and pick your running back for your tight end. And Jake, you were the first one to get back to me, buddy. So congratulations.
That was essentially a 3-team trade with the waiver wire included. Like all parties were happy with that.
I viewed it as
waiver wire who received Trey Tucker.
Yeah, not happy. Yeah, the waiver wire is not happy about this trade.
They got finessed.
Tyrone Tracy got cut. Understandable. Singletary's gonna be back. I guess you don't really expect Tracy to be that guy, but he might be worth a roster spot for somebody who has a stinky team like Lemons. I'd probably be rostering Tyrone Tracy over Zeke at this point. So
the next transaction, I noticed right away because I think this might be the first ever Jake for Jake transaction I've ever seen.
How does that make you feel as a fellow Jake?
I felt pretty good about it, honestly. Nice to get some good representation. Never seen something like that before in a fantasy league.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Oh, man. All right. Alec Pierce was picked up. Quentin Johnson got cut. Who cares? All right, move on. All right, let's quick run through the previews. I play against Lane this week. Starting Jaden Daniels, live my best life. Rolling with the team, you know. I got Chuba in there right now because Kyron Williams is on bye. I thought about Dobbs, but Denver's a pretty tough matchup. Thought about Dobbs, and I don't know. I just don't know if I can trust him first week back. And yeah, everybody else, I don't. Seems pretty fine to me. Laner got his Detroit guys back. Amon-Ra, your Goof. Debo plays tonight in a few minutes. Everybody else, I mean, Devonta Smith sounds like he's gonna be back. James Cook picked up a late injury. I heard it was turf toe. He might not actually play. So as a James Cook owner in other leagues, I'm a little worried about that. If James Cook doesn't play, Laner's gonna be chucking in, I don't know, probably McLaughlin or Gibson. I don't know if I'd start with the Gus Bus. So that would be a big hit for Lane. Manti, who do you got in this one, buddy? Who do you have? Oh gosh.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah, I thought you died.
I think I gotta lean Laner.
Yeah.
Although I will say that as somebody who has Njoku in other leagues, that stresses me out because he's useless.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think his team's pretty solid because I mean, I was watching that Baltimore game, and there was like 3 or 4 times where Lamar got all the way down to like the 1. And it happens like at least once a game. He gets all the way down to 1. He gets like tackled as he's stretching out, and then they go, "Yep, Derrick Henry, here you go, free touchdown."
It's
And
crazy.
so it's insane.
He's the safest bet you could
So-
make. Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. On underdog, you get the vulture too.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely wild. And I mean,
Sponsor.
yeah, I think I definitely got to lean Laner on this one.
Yeah, I get that. Jake, are you in the same boat or are you going me?
I'm picking you in this one.
Yes, baby! Yeah!
And I look at what Joe Burrow did last week against the Ravens, and I see Jaden Daniels projected under 20, and that's shocking.
It is crazy to me. Jaden Daniels literally has one game under 20 points all year. It's his rookie season, is week 2, right? Every other game is over 20. How are you going to project this guy for sub 20? Come on, Yahoo. Fix that shit.
He could get half that off rushing.
Jared Goff,
and
too, though,
potentially
to
rushing
be fair.
touchdown or something.
You can totally
Yeah.
throw in Dallas. 18 points feels a little harsh. Granted, he's had a bit rougher of a time at it, so, you know, fair enough. But, yeah, I need the Saints bounce back against Tampa, so. Jake
I
Ferguson's in
have
the
a good
lineup,
game
doing
from
good.
Spencer Rattler for you there, Shiz.
Yeah, I'm terrified. You know,
Get your
Kamara
guys
should be
down.
fine. Kamara's probably going to get a ton of dump offs. But
True.
Fergie, my stud. Everybody else, you know, we ride. So, all right, let's move on. We got Brandon versus Cade. I don't even have to look at the lineups. I was just kidding.
Neither do I.
So Cade has Josh Allen, Chris Godwin, Josh Downs. He's been good. He's been really good with Flacco. And he didn't practice on Thursday with a toe injury. Ooh. Kenneth Walker, Saquon, Tucker Kraft, Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper against Philly is an awesome matchup. I'm worried about Josh Allen this week. Like, really worried. I think he's not okay. His health. I think he's definitely concussed. And the Jets defense has been shutting quarterbacks down in fantasy.
Donald just had less than 1 point. Had to throw that in there against them.
Darnold. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
and Darnold's been a stud. Yeah, I'm actually worried about Josh Allen on Monday Night Football. Apparently no injury designation, which is wild to me. He's got Geno on the bench, who has been okay.
Thursday
San
night
Fran's
game,
not
right?
really that matchup.
Is it Thursday game?
Geno? Yeah, he
Geno?
plays tonight, yeah.
Yeah, so
Josh
he'll be
Allen's going to
starting.
be his guy. I'm personally going the under on 21 points. I'm a little worried about the matchup, the health, potentially no James Cook. The stars are not aligning for Josh Allen. Lil Shakir is still questionable. He's been great for them. Josh Downs might not play, and so Cooper would go up, and I guess maybe you flex in Ethan. Yeah. Or if Singletary's healthy, you could probably play him too. Etienne or Singletary.
Counterpoint: do the
Yeah.
Jets give more effort or less effort after the coach firing?
Definitely more. Statistically, I don't remember
This doesn't
the
feel like
exact
that's doesn't feel like it was a doesn't feel like it's like Eberflus. I'm not saying that
That's
he's gonna
fair.
get fired
That's
right
fair.
now, but feels like they liked him in general. That's what I was wondering.
That is fair. I remember something. I remember hearing a stat a while back where when a head coach is fired, a team averages like a 50-50 record after, and what you think is pretty solid when you consider most of the teams firing their head coach are probably pretty stinky.
Yep.
So I could personally, I have the Jets winning this game in my pick 'em pool. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay.
So just little insight. Brandon will like that because he's in my pick 'em pool, so now he knows my pick. On his side of the ball, he's got Jalen Hurts coming back from the bye week. He's finally got his wide receivers back. I feel pretty good about him this week. Darnell Mooney against Carolina. Sign me up. Zay Flowers, kind of the same thing. Washington, you can totally throw on. Hopefully that game's a shootout. Brandon probably wishes this was Brian Robinson. But against Carolina, he should have a good week. I know Bijan's been pretty disappointing, but I think you can chalk him up for a season high this week, unless Tyler Algier takes over.
Oh man, please
Oh
no.
jeez. James Conner, Dalton Schultz. We'll see how he goes without Nico. Garrett Wilson in the flex. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad lineup. Shoot. Man, I really want to go with Brandon, but I know what's going to happen if I do, so I'm going to go with Cade.
I'm gonna go with Cade. He's got Saquon back, and that team is about to put up 150.
Yeah, Saquon's a dog, dude. It's only the running backs for me is what does it for Cade's team, right? Because Kenneth Walker has been nasty all year long when he's healthy, and Saquon equally nasty when he's been playing. So I don't know. You're probably not going to get the same thing from Tucker Kraft, but he hopefully will be good. Chris Godwin's been solid. Yeah, I mean, he's got guys, but this is definitely a beat up version of Cade with Nico Collins on IR. I don't know. Who do you got, Matt?
I think I'm gonna agree with you guys. I think I have Cade. I also agree with you on the Downs thing. I personally, it's a little bit of a risk, but I think I would rather have Smith and Jigba play over Downs at this point. So you're pretty Seahawk heavy then, but
Yeah,
you just it's tough, especially against the 49ers, but
fair. It's a little too late for that
it's
though now, baby.
yeah,
7:15.
true. If it's or even honestly Singletary, I agree with you on that one. Just because if it's AR-15,
Yeah.
he can't complete short passes.
Yeah, I mean, even if Downs
And
plays, I totally agree. If it's Anthony Richardson, there's no way I'm putting my lineup. Start literally anybody else. ETN, Christian Kirk.
exactly.
Maybe not Christian Kirk. He might be the only guy. Keon
Yeah,
Coleman.
but it's just like Alec Pierce is their deep ball guy, and Michael Pittman is going to be everything in between, and like all the short stuff that you would want Adonai Mitchell or Downs to do. Anthony Richardson can't complete. So
Although to be fair, Pittman sounds like he's going to miss this game.
true.
So, little boost. But even then, I don't think it matters. Like you said, Anthony Richardson just can't complete these passes. He can run around for fantasy, so he'll be maybe okay for fantasy. But it kind of depends on if Richardson's going to play, right? Because if Footsteps Flacco's playing, you can fire up Downs if he's active. Absolutely. Because Flacco is an elite quarterback. I got to add that button back.
Yeah, I do miss that button.
Oh, jeez. You're going to make me do it live on the show. So, anyways, that's kind of where we're at, I guess, with this matchup. Everybody sounds like they're going Cade, so Upload a sound, choose a file. Joe Flacco, Elite. Here we go, Jake. Hope you're ready for this. Button exists.
Love
I
it.
think Joe Flacco is actually a very elite quarterback.
There you go.
Love it.
I feel better now. Sorry,
Top tier
Preston. You
button.
can't hear these. That really sucks. All right, let's move on.
You can't wait for the weekly roasts at the end.
True.
That sounds like
All the boom
my normal
roasted.
button pressing.
What the heck happened? Is this because the matchup is live? Whoa, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, we never record during the game.
Yeah, it just started. Well, there you go, Preston. If maybe Ayuk will catch a touchdown live on the show.
That'd be hype.
All right, we got Preston and Jake going at it. Pause. CJ Stroud, Ayuk, McLaurin, Jacobs, Taylor, Laporta, Mixon, Tucker. Mixon sounds like he's practicing, so hopefully he plays. JT is missing practice. Is apparently feeling way better relative to last week. We'll see. Jake, you've got Love, Lamb, Diggs, Montgomery. Rico Dowdle against Detroit, I absolutely hate, but I mean, he did it against Pittsburgh, so if you can do it against Pittsburgh, you can do it against anybody.
I'm starting him over Najee.
Understandable. Very understandable. This is going to be Braylon Allen's game.
That'd be tough if I was a week off on that one.
I would,
possible.
honest to God, Jake, I would be starting Isaiah Likely over Mark Andrews every week.
I'm gonna have to learn that lesson. I'm gonna have to learn that lesson
Yeah,
myself.
you are going to have to learn that lesson because you know what Mark Andrews can do? 3, 1, and 4. You know what he can't do? 16 and 31. Look at the sadness, man. Learn that lesson. You will this week. It's okay. Oh, you could throw in Washington, so double who's going to be that guy. I got Jake in this one. Sorry, Preston. Your team has a lot of question marks. You're 1 and 4.
I mean, true, fair.
Jake, I assume you have yourself for obvious reasons.
I do have myself.
Right.
I wasn't honestly sure what that. I didn't think Preston. I didn't think you were going to be able to throw Jonathan Taylor and Joe Mixon into the starting lineup yet. But sounds like they will probably play.
Hey, if JT doesn't play, are you putting Sermon in over Dowdle?
If what? Oh, if JT,
doesn't play. He was good last week.
I think I might have to actually, just because I kind of regretted it last week. So
Yeah, I would.
to. And if that doesn't work out and Dowdle does good, I'll just feel better about the trade.
Yeah,
So.
there you go. I mean, Zach Moss on the bench.
I would say don't love Zach Moss also being questionable. I think every single running back I have is questionable currently.
It is better than last week, though, where every single running back didn't play.
True.
He was limited on Thursday. I think between those 3, you'll have 2 of them play. Should be fine.
I sincerely hope so.
Jacoby Myers can be your blanket, but I don't know if I'd really want him to be against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be rough. It may be a late flex of Kyle Pitts, which might be disgusting, but it's fine.
Yeah, that is disgusting. That would be really disgusting. But it is Carolina, so I kind of get it. I wouldn't even blame you.
It might work. We'll see. That'll be a last resort.
I cannot wait. Nothing would make me happier than if I was able to win and next week talk about somebody starting 2 tight ends in 1 week. This is the year to start 2 tight ends in 1 week. Imagine.
Nothing would make me happier than Kyle Pitts dropping a 20 bomb and Manthai's flex to beat you.
Oh. That would be amazing. Jake would be so mad. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that could only be better if it was comboed with likely outscoring Andrews as well.
Yeah, that would be the combo. Oh, we're gonna move
Jake,
on.
We should just both send it and flex. You should flex Likely and Andrews, and I'll flex.
There you
You
go.
don't like seeing Jaden Reed in the flex.
I would not.
I don't at all.
He's that guy, man.
That was my keeper, Preston, 17th round. He's insane.
I know. He was It was a great keeper. I mean, he's catching footballs with a guy covering his face and triple coverage, which is wild.
Yeah, he's catching ones that aren't even good throws, straight up.
True.
I don't think that was a great throw by Love.
I agree.
think I saw a video that said like this was an insane throw.
Yeah, it was insane.
Was it-
Insane for the
was
wrong
it an
reasons.
insane? Yeah, that's true. I guess I misinterpreted that one.
Yeah, get with
Yeah.
the program, Jake. All right, we're gonna go to Lemons and Greg. Lemons, hey, DK Metcalf's already got 4 points, 1 catch, 30 yards, baby.
It's almost as many as he had last week.
You know, Sleeper
I
said
think he
1
had
catch
7.
for 24 yards, so that's a little interesting. We reviewed something.
Interesting.
Yeah, we got Joe Burrow against the Giants. Feels good. Finally got Joe Burrow in the lineup and Mahomes out because Mahomes is on bye. Thank God. It takes a bye week. Metcalf, he has to start. No way does he have to start Mike Williams and. Oh God, he does. Start Eckler over Zeke. Probably have to. Yeah, you do. I would start Eckler over Zeke easily.
I would
Herbert
too.
should be cut, dude. Look at this guy. You don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with starting Eckler is they use 3 running backs. I was watching a little bit of that game. They use like that rookie Nichols and Robinson and Eckler. Like one of the plays I saw, Eckler was taking like a jet sweep, like he was a slot receiver. I was like, is he even playing running back right now? Like
It doesn't matter because
it was really weird.
at least he's on the field, unlike Zeke, dude. That guy. Come
True.
on, man. Week 1 he was good, and then every other week has been 5 or less. Oh, jeez. It's not good. You can cut Zeke, Lemons. You can do it. I promise you nobody's picking him up. Oh, man. At least he got Brian Robinson in there. I feel like he's just tanking at this point. I don't have another. I tried to trade for Hawkinson, and it was a big no, which kind of confused me because he has George Kittle. Not like you're starting Hawkinson. Maybe he's going to flex Hawkinson. Actually, yeah. Oh, man. Greg's side of the ball, Baker, Chase, Wandale, Gibbs, Swift, Bowers. Yeah, I mean, this is just so much better. I get wanting Deontay now that I look at this. Because the alternative to Deontay is not good. It's Justice Hill. I'm going Greg, and it's not close.
Same.
Although,
well, it had Greg, but TK Metcalf's got 4 already.
yeah,
so.
I mean, that's a huge game.
I'm gonna go with Greg.
All right, I already have you marked down for Lemon. Sorry, Jake.
Oh.
Kidding, buddy. Oh, speaking of big point boosts here, Jordan Mason, 0.1. Got the ball back already. Nick and George. George got Lamar, Higgins, A.J. Brown is back. Brees Hall still stinks, but Buffalo's a run funnel, so he'll probably be fantastic. Ramondre, Trey McBride, Rashid Shaheed has been pretty darn good. Other side of the ball, Kyler, Drake London, Panthers, DJ Moore against the Jaguars. Jordan Mason got a big 1 rush yard so far. Let's go. Oh, there it is. 5 rush yards, baby. Look at that live play-by-play. Tony Pollard, Dalton Kincaid, BTJ. You know, Georgia's team is really good. His running backs kind of stink. But Brees Hall should be good this week, which is more to say than any other week. I don't know who I've got for this one, so I'm going to push this one to Jake.
I have Nick's team in this one.
I
don't want Kyler to pop off against
Yeah.
us, but I see Marvin Harris getting 2 touchdowns against us.
I've been leaning that way, and it kind of scares me because George, his team is better. But the matchups, Drake London in Carolina, DJ Moore against Jacksonville. Come on, man. Kyler against Green Bay. Yeah. That's tough. Manthai, who do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys. I think this will be close, but I think Georgia's team overall is better. I still am standing on the fact that I think Brees Hall is going to get a lot more carries this week.
Yeah.
And hopefully that picks up his number. But I mean, I'm not too confident with the Tony Pollard start over there for Nick. But
It's fair. Brock Purdy pass completion. Yeah. Tony Pollard has been okay, but is the Colts, remember?
true. In that case, start every Tennessee back you have. They couldn't stop anybody. But is Malik Neighbors playing?
No, I don't think so. He's still concussed. He has not practiced today. If
Gotcha.
you're not practicing on Thursday, I don't think you're playing. So I'm pretty sure for the concussion protocol, you have to log at least one full practice. Oh.
He's on Zoom. He's logging that practice right now.
I'm going to go Nick. Jake, I'm going to back you here. George, this is nothing against you because I do think you're going to have a good week this week. I think Nick is due. Oh, look at that. Jordan Mason. Big rush.
Instantly.
There it is, George. You're dead. Sorry, buddy. Good thing I went Nick. Manti, no takesy backsies. Yeah, so that'll do it for the rewind picks, the matchup previews. I do want to shout out, since we're about a third of the way through the season.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. I am.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. You're right. Never mind. I thought you were saving me and Preston for the last. I totally forgot.
No, I did you guys already. Pause.
Pause. Yeah.
I am hitting at 48% on the year. Jake, you're at 56%, and the guest is averaging 53%. Lane was 3 for 5, Nick was 3 for 5, and Brandon was 2 for 5. Manti, hopefully you can beat those guys.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know that Mason. Those 4 points are really tanking my average.
Yeah,
already.
you're probably sweating right now. All right, let's do.
Brandon's 2 for 5.
He was 2 for
So
5. Yes.
Well, if you adjust that for how he does in this league this year, that's actually pretty damn good, if I'm being honest.
Hell yeah.
He listens.
He does listen. That's good banter. Hold on, let me.
Boom.
There you go.
Roasted.
Got his ass. All right, let's. Speaking of boom roasted, let's hit the boom roasted segment. So we're gonna start. Well, I don't roast myself, so get fucked, Preston. You can. Hey, you know what, Preston? You can roast me if you want. You want to roast me? This is your chance.
I mean, I think I already did it, but the Marvin Harrison Jr. having 5 points is rough. Same with Olave. A lot of bad Ohio State receivers there for you.
Yeah, Pan. OSU,
Boom.
baby.
Roasted.
Yeah, that was a weak boom roasted. Jake, you better take it easy on that button, buddy. All right. Let's hit Brandon here. Pause. Brandon, in all honesty, I think that all we need to do this week to roast you is this drop.
Yo, Brandon, you trash your fantasy.
Boom. Roasted.
All right, Jake, your team has finally been called out for what it is: mediocre. Plus, your team name is Keenan All In, and that's horrible. You don't even have Keenan Allen on your roster, dude. You gotta change that. Get it out of here.
Boom.
I had to do the boom roasted on myself.
Press that
That's the first time. That was unfortunate.
Do you have any comments about your team name, Jake? Or are you just lazy?
It's a combination of being lazy, but still, I feel like it's relevant because I went all in last year, and that's why my roster is where it's at right now. But it's not the worst, so maybe
It's
there will be a
unacceptable.
team name change. We'll see.
Yeah, there better be. Lane. Oh, man. It is really funny how T-Law had a career-high week in yards this week. He dropped a massive 30 points in the process, and your team still couldn't bust 100 points. You are destined to not have nice things.
Boom. Roasted.
And Nick, keep holding on to that 3 times champ team name, buddy, because at this point, it's all you have to keep you from being in Brandon or Preston's level of pain.
Boom. Roasted.
There you go, Manti. Shout out you. All right, that does it for the week. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Oh, God. Lane has 3 points already. No, Debo! He's already matched his last week total. All right. Everybody, hope you have a good week, except for Lane. Oh, Preston and Jake, you guys stink.
Oof.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll tune in next week for a big week. Maybe we'll have somebody who actually wins on the show. Ooh, did somebody's? All right, never mind. I thought somebody scored a touchdown because George had 13 points. It's his defense.